Hey folks, Brendan here from Bluelight. Now, if you're in the police recruitment process or you're about to start the police recruitment process or you're just thinking of joining, then these videos are for you. Over the past 10 years, I've been coaching and supporting people just like you. Over 12,000 people are now in the police as a result of my support. It's been an absolute honor and a privilege to help people to achieve their dreams. How do I do that? Well, 3 decades in the police and 26 years worth of coaching and supporting people in the police sector. So I was doing this way before I started helping recruits with people who wanted to be sergeants, people who wanted to go into specialist roles. So I've been doing this for a long time. I know what works. I know my way around the police system. But every now and then I get a little bit surprised. So the other evening I was running a coaching session for several individuals who have their final interview, their stroke in-force interview coming up, sometimes called a senior interview. And this is where it's part of the interview course, by the way, and you can just get the links below. The links are below to all of those courses and the Facebook groups and all the support that's available for you. Anyway, one of the things that surprised me a little bit, I wasn't ready for it. I was asked a question, so how do we prepare for two-part interview questions? And I thought, I've not heard of that phrase before. Apparently it's West Yorkshire reintroducing their interview process, and they call it a two-part interview. Two-part interview questions. So it got me thinking a little bit about the sort of questions that are asked that come in two parts. And so, pin your ears back, folks. I could have got this wrong. It might be that one part is an interview and another part is some other form of assessment. I don't know, and my client didn't know. As soon as I find out, I'll let you know. But anyway, whether I've got it all completely wrong and it's not two parts to the question, it's two parts to the assessment process, I'll find out and I'll share it with you. But it doesn't matter, because these two-part questions are questions that a lot of forces are asking now, and they can be a bit of a trap for you if you are not wise to what's going to come next. I'll put some together for you. I'll read them out, and these are sort of questions that we cover on the webinars. It's covered in my online course. Give you the structured approach. Of course, you've got to do the hard work. I just show you the way. You've got to do the hard work. So here we go. This is one Nottinghamshire uses. What challenges or challenge? What's the biggest challenge this force faces? So it might be worded as challenges, or what's the biggest challenge that this force is currently facing. Do not talk about more than 3, because you're going to get yourself all confused. I would just focus on one. What's the one big thing? You can perhaps talk about some of the interrelated things. So organised criminality, I'll be talking about knife crime, violent crime, drug dealing, and also vulnerability within our more challenging communities. So the next question would be, how are you going to help us meet those challenges? How are you going to help us meet those challenges? Or it could also be worded as, what sort of skills do you have that can help us meet those challenges? So there you go, 2 parts to the question. Next one, a lot of forces ask this one. What values or value is important to you? What values or value is important to you? And then followed by, can you tell me about a time when you've demonstrated that value? So watch out for that one, and don't just pick integrity or transparency or something else from the College of Policing's competency and values framework. Talk about something that really matters to you. So it could be compassion. One of my clients used that once, and it was not from the competency and values framework, it's not from the code of ethics, but he believed it was a value that was very important to him, and so we talked about that. Another client of mine used kindness. The world needs more kindness, doesn't it? So he talked about kindness as being a value that's very strong within him. So next one, why is diversity, equality and inclusion so important? Derbyshire Police currently ask this. I think Leicester should do as well as part of their presentation. Quite a few forces will ask you questions about diversity, equality and inclusion, or they might just ask you the question, why is diversity so important to the police? That's Derbyshire Police. Lancashire Police, every indication is that their future interviews are going to ask questions about this. Next question would be, how will how will you enable this force to become more diverse? So once you're in the police, what sort of actions could you take to enable this force to become more diverse? Or how will you, once you're in the police, ensure that people feel included? So that's that sense of inclusivity. Next question. This is a Cheshire Constabulary one. Why is community engagement important? The actual question that's asked by Cheshire is, how will you as a constable in the future go about doing effective community engagement? That's a good one, isn't it? It's right into my lap, that one. That's my strong point: problem solving within communities, asset-based approaches. I was a neighbourhood inspector for 8 years and did a lot of pioneering work in GMP. Continued to do that outside of GMP with the European Union on a big project for 3 years, and I've spoken at conferences about it. So it's my thing. So it falls right into my lap, that one. The Code of Ethics. What do you understand by the Code of Ethics? Why do we have a Code of Ethics? Why is a Code of Ethics important? So a question like that. And then followed by, how in the future as a police officer will you ensure the Code of Ethics is part of your everyday duties? Or it could also be, how in the past have you dealt with an ethical dilemma? So there you go, folks. Hope that makes sense. Just give you a flavour of the sort of questions that you're going to get. This is not like the online assessment centre. It's nothing like the online assessment centre. This is not the formulaic approach that we take to the online assessment centre, ticking the boxes. This is where you're up in front of people like me. They can see through BS a mile away. Don't try and buzzword them. They're not interested in buzzwords. These are operational police officers who are interviewing you. Operational inspectors, sometimes chief inspectors, and sergeants. They are not going to stand for any kind of BS from you, any kind of competency buzzword speak. So ignore all of those books out there that tell you to just use phrases from the competency and values framework. I promise you, it won't work. I know that. I used to be one of the interviewers. I would give someone very short shrift to try to BS me with all of that kind of nonsense. So be a true, authentic self in a detailed and structured way. Introduce some emotion into your answers and practice. I never wish any of my clients luck. I just wish them good practice and preparation. If you feel that you need luck, you haven't done enough practice, you've not done enough preparation. And we do that preparation, we do that practice, we rehearse on a daily basis so that on the day we come across as being confident and prepared. And that's where we need to be. Come and join us on the courses. Come and join the Facebook group and enable me to help you to succeed in the process like the 12,000 plus that have gone before you. I'll catch up with you soon, folks. Bye-bye for now.